Good morning, all. I hope the screen is visible to both T, B, and T, C division. If there is any problem related to voice or anything, please let me know. Okay, so in this particular, and if there is any question, you need to unmute yourself and ask the question, because during the presentation I will not see your chat box. Okay, so in this particular lecture, we will be discussing the need of artificial intelligence in mechanical engineering and other domains. So if you ask the question related to what are the applications, so there is no any restriction to the applications. So I will tell you one example that in 2020 I have seen. In one of the state of United States, one serial killer was there in 1970s and 80s, somewhere in that period, and police tried a lot to find out who is that serial killer, but that serial killer was very smart, and police got some proof but they couldn't catch that particular person. And in 2019, 2020, in that state, the blood samples and other genetic details were started collecting, and the records were maintained for medical purpose. And when that information is started collecting in that state, somehow the pattern of the gene is matched with the serial killer of this of that or the serial killer which was there in 70s and 80s. And through that, police came to know that the person who submitted the genetical details in 2019 2020, he was the actual serial killer in 70s and 80s. So this is how the genetical details are mapped with the proofs identified on the crime scenes in 70s and 80s, and they caught that criminal. So what I wanted to tell you here is that there is nothing that this is the particular application of AI, there we can apply, in other areas it is not. Nothing like that. You just imagine the area, and you just need to think in a different way, and you will come to know how AI can be applied. Okay, so with this example we will start. So we will start with automobile sector. In automobile sector, we yesterday also we discussed some of the examples. So take an example of a car, and suppose you are driving a car at 60 kilometer per hour, and suddenly a kid came in front of your car. So what you do, you will apply brake, again you will de-accelerate your vehicle, again you will apply clutch in order to stop your vehicle so that there will be not any kind of accident. So within a very short period of time, you take a decision, and which parameter you considered: the speed with which you are going, the speed with which that kid is coming in front of your vehicle, and at how much fast you need to control your vehicle. So all these calculations you do in a very short time, and you act accordingly. So when we talk about the autonomous vehicle or driverless car, so in that case also such a situation may arise, and it is the responsibility of AI engineer to train the system in such a way that if such type of unavoidable circumstances will come, how the car or that vehicle will be controlled. So that is important approach. Again, when we are dealing with the autonomous cars, so that changing lanes, overtaking, that also very important part. And again in that, the car has to understand so many parameters. For example, in second figure you can see that a autonomous car is there. For example, we are assuming that it is an autonomous car, okay, and what it has to understand what is the maximum speed limit for that road, the speed with which that car is going, the speed with which the other vehicles are going, and other vehicles or which lane they are referring, and accordingly, by processing all those parameters, the car will take the decision to change the lane, and again after traveling certain distance, again it has to come back to its original lane. So accordingly, a lot of data is to be processed, and based on that decision can be taken. So this is another application where a lot of machine learning algorithm needs to be developed, so that with greater accuracy appropriate decision will be taken. So this is another example, and in this case it's not only about the autonomous car. The autonomous car also should understand the other factors as well. Again, one very interesting thing I would like to tell you here, that we are expecting when there will be a trend of autonomous car, we will be reducing a lot of accidents, and that probability of accident will go down. That will be future, and at this point of time we cannot predict it. And it is expected that the car insurance sector could shrink to 40% of its current size by 2040. Again, one example I will tell you that I have seen when I was in USA, that when you purchase a new car, for all purchase there is a compulsory insurance, car insurance, and that car insurance premium is linked with your uh, driving license. So whenever you break a traffic signal or violate the rules, and there are cameras at every signals and at different places of the road, they are continuously monitoring you. So when you are passing that signal, the camera will catch your photo, and from that number plate it will come to know who is the driver and who is the owner of that car. And if you are violating the rules, crossing the signals many a times, then that information will be generated and it will be linked to your driving license as well as your insurance. And as you are violating the rules many a times, so automatically your premium amount will increase. On other side, if your driving is very good, you are following all the rules and regulations, then you are also getting the benefits. The same will be recorded on your driving license as well as insurance, and your premium amount will go down. So this is how the AIS are used to completing the loop, so that, and the outcome of this is that even though on the traffic signal if nobody is there, still people are waiting for the signals, and once green signal will be displayed, then they move ahead. So the rules and regulations are generally followed, and that reduces the probability of accidents. So this is also the coming future, and very soon in India also we will be seeing such type of technologies, where if all the things are connected in a loop, benefits and losses, then definitely it will increase the safety of the people, the driving skills of the people. So these are the some of the applications where AI can be used. Again, AI in business. So in business, for example, manufacturing system, so what is very important, the production rate should be very high. Again, at the same time, the quality of the product should be at higher end, so that there will be a good customer in the market, and there you can use AI based solution. And how to deploy those AI based solutions, you need to find out what are the weaknesses of your manufacturing systems, where you can implement AI based solution. For example, in case of mass production system, generally we see that in mass production system there are people who are deployed and they are doing continuously the assembly work, and throughout day they do the similar kind of tasks. Those are monotonous and boring kind, and during this monotonous activity the human may do some error, and its repercussion can be observed when that product will be deployed into the market. So what generally nowadays you can see the automatic assembly lines, you can see, and you can see in the figure as well. So what is done in this, the activities done by a human being, it is identified step by step. Accordingly, a robotic system is trained for the same, and it is replaced, or it is placed in place of that human. And as even though it is a monotonous work, but that robotic system is trained in such a way that the probability of mistake will be at lower end. And in order to train that robot, it is very important to identify all the processes. That processes need to be divided into very small steps, and accordingly at appropriate weaker section you need to apply the uh, AI based solution. So this is another location where businesses decision can be made in order to improve the production rate, the quality of the product, and ultimately the outcome will be the financial benefits. So this is one of the example. Then another example we can take in case of delivery systems. For example, when you place an order on Amazon, then the product is dispatched and a person will come to your delivery address. He will call you that I'm outside your gate, and come and pick your courier. And suppose you are in the office and your home is far away from your workplace, then in that case that person, that delivery boy, has to go back and come back again. So there is a kind of loss, right? Because that person has to come back to your home again. So can you think about a system where that human intervention can be replaced? For example, what I have seen, I will tell you. Generally in a given society there will be a big locker. For example, Amazon locker will be there, and when the delivery boy will come to your uh, society, what he will do, he will put your pocket in a particular locker, because there is a group of many lockers will be there, and in one of the locker he will put your courier, and he will lock it with some code. And as you are the owner of that product, you will receive the code of that locker, and whenever you get time you can go to that locker, you just put the code number, and that locker will open and you can take your courier. So here in this particular example, the lag will be minimized, or that error could be minimized, because whenever that delivery boy will come, he will just place your courier inside the that locker and he will go. He need not to wait for you. And once he place your courier in that pocket, in that locker, you will be also getting the message. So whenever you get time to go to that locker, you can go and take your courier. So this is the another approach of saving the time. Again, in the figure you can see that there is a robotic system, and on that there are some boxes, and these robotic systems are trained that which box is to be placed where, so that next time when the order of that box will come, the robotic system will go to the same place, pick the same, and deliver to the person. So this is how innovative thought processes are coming in order to uh, minimize the what we can say, the efforts of the human being, to reduce the monotonous work. Again, at the same time, the saving of time and money is also important, and this is the ultimate aim.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is this is going on in India also, or just it's the idea?
Yeah, in I guess I have seen at Mumbai at one of the place, okay, long back, in 6 or 8 months back, and slowly it will come everywhere. Why the deployment of such technologies in India at slower rate? Because the manpower is available in India, okay, and we get the manpower at very I can say the less expenses. So that's why slow the rate of deployment of this such type of technology is slower in India, but slowly it will come. Yeah. So this is how what I can answer. But again, second important thing is that as the salaries and all these things will increase, slowly people will think about deploying such type of technologies. For example, in some of the automobile sectors, the manufacturing or the painting part is replaced, man is replaced with machine only. There are robotic system who takes care of the painting of the car, and that will ensure the quality of painting, and ultimately it will increase the quality of the car. So wherever the locations where the cost of manpower is at higher end and quality is one of the concern, at those points the man is replaced with machine. Again again some of you may think that it will lead to unemployment. No. Why? Because the thing is that even though the man is in this case replaced with machine, but again the continuous training of that machine, again to carry out the maintenance activity of that machine, developing new robotic system, so there also a need of manpower. So what we are trying to do, we are just changing the role of the manpower, just doing the monotonous task to the innovative task. So that approach is changing. So whatever AI technologies we will be seeing today or we will be seeing in the future, it will not reduce the employment. It will shift the area where one area there will be less requirement of manpower, but at the same time the maintenance of the robotic system, design and development of the AI based system, the employment will be more. For example, even today you can see in IT industry so many recruitments are going on, and I had never seen such type of recruitment last 10-15 years. So the reason is very simple, that so many projects they are receiving related to deployment of AI and machine learning in various sectors, and just it is shifting the uh, employment from one domain to another domain. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, great. So next part is AI in education. So generally the thing is that even take an example of this online teaching learning processes. So physically you are not in a position to come down to the laboratories and perform the experiments. And nowadays you might have seen that there are some labs developed in IITs or by AICT, that virtual laboratories are there where you will not be coming physically to the laboratories, but through virtual mode you can realize or you can take the experience how the systems works and how you need to perform the experiment. So slowly need of such virtual labs will increase, and there the role of AI will come into the picture, that will increase the teaching learning methodologies, that will help teacher to improve the teaching skill. Again, at the same time students will get a better opportunity to learn the things in a different way. So that is also additional benefits, and slowly we will see those things. Again, see, even in case of our college only, in first year only 1000 students are there. So examination team who is conducting examination, assessing the papers and delivering the grades to you. So they are under a lot of pressure and a lot of work is there. So can you imagine when you complete your paper, there is a computerized system who will be assessing your grades or assessing your paper, calculating the grades, and automatically you will be communicated. For example, nowadays even your CET examination, I guess it is computerized only. So you need to fill the answers or tick the correct option, and computer will or that AI system will take care of checking how many correct answers you get, how many wrong answers are there, what will be your grade, and automatically within 1 or 2 months the results are displayed. So you can imagine such type of system is there. Previously 10-15 years back it was not there. All the examinations were in manual mode. Even when I give CT examination, it was in manual mode on paper. We need to tick on correct options and submitting our CT examinations. So see, in 10, 15 years, the total shift is there. Okay, so there is also again we can talk about AI. Again, in future, what could happen? Uh, we will take example. So when a theoretical paper will be assigned to you for examination in online mode, so what you can do, you will search the answer on other browser. That question you will put, and Google will tell you what is the correct answer, and you just copying that answer and pasting in the answer book. So this is the malpractice happening. So suppose imagine a system that before examination we will ask you that put this particular app in your system and then start examination. And what will be the role of that app? It will be continuously monitoring you through your camera only. So if you are looking here, there, or doing some malpractice, it will tell you that this particular malpractice is not allowed. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to continue the examination. Or if you open any another browser to search the answer, that AI system will identify that you are doing a malpractice and this is not allowed. So the days will come soon where such type of online examination monitor will be there, who is continuously monitoring you and making sure that you are fairly giving the examination, and the probability of malpractice will be minimized. So this is again the application of AI in education, and very soon you will see it. Again, AI in finance. So again, so many financial decisions are made, right? And for example, even we can see about, we can generally talk about stock market nowadays, and many people are involved in this. And nowadays the AI codes are developed who automatically takes a decision when to buy a share and when to sell a share. So such type of decisions are nowadays, it is not done every time manually, it is done by AI system. Again, suppose if you apply for a personal loan, then 5 10 years back, what was the approach? The bank will inquire your information at your village, your relatives, or some of the people from your village, and they will come to know whether you will be in a position to pay back the loan or not. And if the bank observed that your economical condition is good and you are capable to pay back the amount, then they were giving the loan to you. But today it is not happening. Today it is, everything is linked to your credit score, where all your track record, your financial transactions, previously whatever loans if you had taken, then whether you paid back or not, so all the records are already there, and based on that your credit score is calculated. And the credit score is considered as important parameter for giving personal loan. And again, the that number, that how much loan should be given to a person, again it is based on your credit score. So that part is also very important, and this is how the AI is coming into picture to make such kind of decisions. Again, AI in gaming. So see, when we generally play a game, after few days we start uh, getting bored with that game. The reason is very simple, because slowly you will come to know what are the different steps in that game, and that thrill or that curiosity will get diminished, and because of that you will go away from the gaming. And nowadays, and again important thing is that every individual play the game with his own thought process, and over the period of he evolve his thought process. And if the gaming system is not smart, then that game will not keep attracting you. So nowadays, uh, most of the gaming systems, some of the examples are given in the slide you can see here. So what they are done, there is a AI based programming who, based on your way of playing, it is automatically creating a new situation for you. And for those new situations, there will be a curiosity or interest maintained, and you keep playing that game for a long period of time. So this is how the AI is playing an important role in gaming, because without AI, if I start designing a game, I can consider 10, 20, 50, 100 different kind of situations while designing the game. But again, 100 is a limited set of situations. But think about that, there is a AI based program. So based on your way of playing, it is creating the own situations and n number of situations. So that will again attract so many uh, people who are interested in gaming. So this is another application of AI in gaming. Again, in government sector also, most of the financial decisions taken by the governments, they are again slowly start linking with the AI. For example, to predict the natural disaster, how much will be the loss due to the natural disaster, that is predicted by the various models. So for example, in case of cyclone, when it start moving towards the in a particular country, so a model is created by considering so many parameters. Okay, and based on that, its impact will be calculated, and how much monetary loss will be there, it is calculated accordingly. The plans are created. For example, whether it is required to evacuate that place so that the uh, humans will be safe, and such kind of decisions will be taken. Again, on the roads, if on a particular road again and again accidents are happening, then a continuous monitoring is done, and it is actually modeled, and based on that a decision is to be taken, that whether there any problem with the construction of the road, and what kind of alternative solution can be provided. So that kind of decisions can are made. Again, you can think about the public distribution system, for example, ration. So we know that especially in the pandemic situation, for economically weaker section, the ration is provided, that grain at very with minimum price is given to the economical weaker people. And we know that during this distribution system, so much corruption is happening. And so few years back, government took a decision that whatever grain is delivered to the person or the people, it will be linked to your Aadhaar card. And nowadays, when you go for collecting your grain at lower price, they will ask for a ration card number, your Aadhaar card number, and again they will take your biometric. And when everything will be matched, you will also come to know how much grain in this particular month is allocated to you. And you can ask to the shop owner, I am allocated 10 kg of wheat, then he will give you only that amount of wheat. Similar the case with the rice, if you are getting. So slowly these AI techniques are helping to minimize the corruption in that domain. And again now also government identify that you with only biometrics, some of the people who are working in the mines or farms, they are facing problem with their fingerprints. So government may think, or is also maybe also already decided to switch to a face recognition system, and because that is also available. So the person who are facing the problem with the fingerprints, they will be also take their grains through their face recognition. So that could be again increase the public distribution system. Okay, so these are some of the examples where government is incorporating the AI and machine learning algorithms and techniques to increase the effectiveness of the system, the quality of the service, and so many other parameters. Again, nowadays we are talking about the solar panels and solar farms, because in India solar energy is available in abundance. And the other sources through which we can generate the energy, but these are the limited sources, and again the cost of energy is also very high. So it's better to switch to solar energy, and through which a lot of energy can be generated and the power requirement of our country can be fulfilled. And recently you might have seen or read the news related to so many solar parks are constructed in different states, and day by day it will increase, and slowly after, I will say, after 4 5 years, at individual house only you will see the solar panels. And but the important thing is that the fault in the solar panels, so in the figure you can see there are different types of hotspots and failure of the solar panels. And suppose there are thousands and millions of solar panels are there, manually Yeah, there was a issue. Yes, I will share was how long that problem was there.
No, sir, not long.
Okay, okay, great. Oh, I guess both the division that issue was there. I guess there was some internet issue. Okay, is it visible to you now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So thank you for telling this. Otherwise, keep continuing and you are not in a position to uh, see the screen. Okay, thank you. So yes, of course, material movement. We already took the examples related to the material pick and place robot. Okay, so that the time and money will be saved. Again, for assembly plants also, slowly the man is replaced with machines. So these are the some of the snaps through which you will come to know the places where the AI can be incorporated. So for example, predictive machine analytics in case of pick and place operations, IoT based sensor, how they are used, again modular equipment, how computer vision system is used for packing or quality inspection and other things, then automatic dispatch, material transfer and dispatching. So there are so many processes where the manual work is shifted or replaced with some automatic kind of things for monitoring all the processes very closely, and manager at his desk on his screen he can see what kind of activities are going inside the plant, and accordingly he can take the decision. Again, you might have watched the movie like Iron Man, where AI bot was there to assist him, right? So these are the futuristic technology, and nowadays slowly it will be deployed. In one of my example, I told you in the class that in a manufacturing system there are so many machines, and a person will be there whose role will be, there is a machine operator on each machine, and his primary role will be to put the component on the spindle and start the machining operation. After completing the manufacturing process, take out the component, place it on the next desk. So this is a monotonous work, and worker may not be efficient. So his efficiency will be calculated by putting a system on that CNC machine who can continuously monitor that after every minute, after every hour, or after every shift, how many components are manufactured. And the manager on his screen, he will come to know the production rate of each and every employee on a given, on their respective machines. So based on that he can predict the functioning capacity of the employee or the worker, and accordingly he can take the decision whether to hire or fire the employee, whether to give promotion of a employee or not. So such kind of decisions are taken. Again, AI in condition monitoring, preventive maintenance. So let's take an example. Again, we will take the example of magnetic bearing. So in case of magnetic bearing, a shaft, we know that it is because of the magnetic field, it is rotating in the air only. And that shaft can move in axial direction or in radial direction. So that can move. So in order to restrict the axial movement, so magnets are placed in axial direction whose role is to maintain the or avoid the axial movement of the shaft. Again, in order to restrict the radial movement, so magnetic bearings are placed in radial direction. So they will make sure that there is no significant movement in radial direction as well. So in order to check the position of the shaft in axial as well as radial direction, so many sensors are placed. So what is the role of those sensors? They will continuously checking the position of the shaft in axial as well as radial direction, and they will continuously sending the data of the shaft position to the controlling system. And there are limits which are set. if the shaft moves in axial direction beyond certain limit, for example 1 millimeter, then automatically that signal is received by the control system and it will stop functioning of that machine where shaft is deployed, so that there will not be any accident. Similarly, if there is a movement in radial direction and crossing certain limit, again similar actions would be taken. So in case of such type of magnetic system, the sensors are generating the data continuously, and that data is given to the control system. So in case of condition monitoring, so many, just I'm telling you the data about the axial movement of the shaft and radial movement of the shaft. At the same time, the condition of the sensors which are used, the condition of the system who is creating the magnetic field, so there also degradation takes place over the period of time. So all such type of data is taken as a input, and that input is called as input layer, and in between there are cores that continuously check the behavior of the system, analyze the data. They also monitor the life of that sensors, life of that shaft, life of that magnetic field creating system, and it will process the same. And based on the analysis, whatever results will be there, for example the XYZ sensor has failed or it is not performing at desired capacity, that will be detected, and automatically the message will be received at the user end, and accordingly the maintenance can be carried out. So such type of systems are also coming. So when you get the time, you can check the Danfoss centrifugal pump, DANFOS, I guess. So just check the uh, centrifugal compressors which they manufacture, where they are using the magnetic bearing, and the speed is very high, 15,000, 50,000 rpm and more. And you can see that when a system is rotating at very high speed, if something unexpected happens, how much dangerous it could be. And in order to maintain the safety level, desired safety level, what type of precautions they are taking. Even few years back I visited Kirloskar chillers. So Kirloskar chiller is supplying the chillers to various industries, especially the chemical industry. They have developed or they have identified the symptoms through which they can at what location there could be a failure, and they identified such faults and they developed condition monitoring system for the same. And if any of the sites such type of failures occur, any of the failure occurs, the manager directly will receive a message that we need to carry out the maintenance, and accordingly the service team is deployed to that particular site in order to carry out the maintenance. So such type of condition monitoring techniques are already started deploying at various positions in order to plan the maintenance. Suppose there is a word, English word, and you don't know the meaning of that word. So what you do, you just go on Google and just put that English to Marathi translator, and you just put English word and it will tell you what is its Marathi meaning. Simple application of natural language processing where computer will understand what you are looking for, and it will translating the information to a given language. So 10-15 years back, if you start searching with the Marathi word, the Google was not showing you the correct option or correct search. But now even if you search in Marathi language, it will show you the correct options, search options, because it will understand you are searching in Marathi and what is its English meaning, and accordingly it will be showing you the option. Again, take an example of your WhatsApp or your simple chat box. when you start typing something, for example, happy birthday, then the slowly over the period of time, your system will come to know that when you type HAPPY happy, then it will predict that happy birthday and it will recommend you, are you looking for happy birthday? So that is minimizing your task. So this is another application where the systems are understanding if you type something what exactly you want to type, and it will be providing you the recommendations, so that you need to type the whole sentence, you can directly pick that recommended words. So this is also another approach. Again, generally you might have heard about Grammarly app, where what you do, you prepare your report and you run the Grammarly on that report, and it will tell you at what places you did grammatical mistakes, and it will recommend you these are the mistakes and how you can improve the grammar. So that is also an application of AI in natural language processing. Again, we already discussed about various applications where Siri or Alexa, when you speak something, that app or that system will understand what you are speaking. It will be converting your voice command into a language which computer can understand, and accordingly that information will be processed and output will be presented to you. So that's it from my side. If you have any question, the session is open for discussion. Yes, any question if you have?